Samsung Galaxy S10 unboxing. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. What is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the Samsung Galaxy S10 unboxing and first impressions. Now, my previous episode, we unboxed the Galaxy S10e, the cheaper edition. Well, we go up $150 here to $899, the Galaxy S10. Now you can see at the bottom just a UPC code, nothing off to the top. On the side, you can see Galaxy S10 right there. And on the back, this is the T-Mobile model. I decided to get the carrier model for this one as I do want updates on the S10 and S10 Plus. Now, you can see right here the package contains Samsung Galaxy S10, wall USB charger. They don't include the specs anymore, as I mentioned in the S10 unboxing. For some reason, I don't know why, but I don't think people really care because we could just read a spec sheet if we really care to know the specs. And also you got me in reviews and things like that if you want to know that. So I should also note that this Galaxy S10 came with the promo Galaxy Buds. Now these are going to be a very hot item, as well as they're cheaper than AirPods, and they do work with other phones, including very seamlessly with the Galaxy S10, but we'll cover those in a separate video. I want to keep this one focused on the S10. So we're just going to go ahead and pop the box open. So it does look like Samsung kind of opened this. I think that was to put their screen protector on there versus the other phones that would look like they were not even touched. So I'm pretty sure Samsung opened this up last minute, put a screen protector on here, and you could see there is the Galaxy S10 in all its glory in prism white. Now let's go ahead and place that down and see what does come in the box here. So I do get my T-Mobile SIM card. I have my own, so I will just put that off to the side. And you can see white cables with this white phone. So if you get the black version, you get black cables. If you get the white version, you're going to get white cables. So this is a little bit overexposed, but it does say adaptive fast charger in there. Over here, we do have ourselves the USB-C to USB 2.0 port right there. So right here, we do have ourselves the USB-C plug to plug into the wall if you're going to use that, or you can just use a wireless charger, but you do get this if you're not using wireless. Now over here, we have ourselves the AKG headphones. Again, they look very nice. They're updated. They're not the same blue ones that you get with every other phone. And we'll test those and talk more about those in the review as well. Now, the actual booklets are buried in here. Let me get this out really quickly. So pulling out that last tab, you can see Samsung right there. On the back, you can see you have your SIM card tool, and pulling this out, we do have ourselves the booklets and warranty guides and things like that. How to use your phone, Samsung Pay, as if you don't know how to use a Samsung. This is the 10th edition by now. Unless it's your first time, this is probably not going to be anything you ever read. And that's basically it. Everything you need in the box. You have yourself a charger, you got some headphones. This does have a headphone jack, which is great. You also have a USB cable and even an adapter to go ahead and transfer some files over. This is a really nice setup, everything in the box. So here we are. Let's take a closer look at the Galaxy S10. You can see we have our triple camera, and we do have a white that kind of changes colors depending on what light you're actually looking at. In some lights, it looks kind of pinkish gold, and then in some lights, it's kind of like a white. So it's definitely a really nice color. Off to the side, we do have a silver color, and this could be a Panda phone again. We have black front, white back, so you can say that if you want, but it's really more shiny than a Panda style phone. That would be the Google Pixel 2 XL. And then up here, one hole punch, the Galaxy S10 Plus coming soon to the channel does have two of those. But the first thing that strikes me about the Galaxy S10, this middle phone of the three, is that how much screen you're getting for how light this phone is. This phone is extremely light, 156 grams. You don't expect this kind of lightness for a phone that gives this much screen size. The Galaxy S9 Plus was about the same size, but much heavier than this phone. So that's a great achievement here for the Galaxy S10, is how light it feels in the hand. So let's go ahead and get the Galaxy S10 started up here. You can see power button off to the right, and it should boot up and say Samsung Galaxy S10. Man, it's the 10th version of this phone already. It's been so long since the Galaxy phones have been around, and they seem to be getting better pretty much every single time. You can see Bixby button right there, volume markers off to the left. They are kind of high up, so you're gonna have to reach a little bit. This is the T-Mobile model, so of course you're gonna get your carrier branding when you do boot up. If you have an AT&T model, same thing for that phone, as well as if you have like a Sprint phone or something like that. You can see starting Android, and again, it's telling me what I gotta do, but that's what it does. It kind of walks you through it, gives you a guide, and talks to you in case you don't know how to use your Galaxy phone. So here we are. We're now in One UI on the Galaxy S10. Again, the hole is hidden because this wallpaper cleverly hides that hole as best as possible. Now, this is not going to obtrude as much as a notch, but some people don't like where it's placed and they think it's actually worse design than a notch, but really I don't see it to be a problem, and I think it's pretty equal. It's just going to come down to preference. Now, I did forget to take the plastic off, so let's do this once in a lifetime. Oi, it's just a really nice peel off on that plastic. You're definitely going to feel that one on this Galaxy S10 for sure. That's a satisfying feeling to you. So here we are, One UI version 1.1 and Android 9 Pie. Now, I will mention, like I did in my S10e video, is that this phone right here is not going to be updated as frequently as you might like in terms of major updates. It should be getting security updates, but you're probably going to get 1 to 2 major updates, but don't expect them to come every 6 months or anything like that. You're going to have to stick with your software for quite some time, as Samsung typically puts a pretty good software on their phone and then they don't update it to a major version for 6 months to sometimes even a year long. Okay, so you've never seen anything like this before unless you've seen the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, but if you haven't, wireless power share here on the Galaxy S10 is going to allow you to charge other devices right on the phone itself. So let's go ahead and place this thing on the table, and say you got a friend who uses an iPhone and they say, hey, I need some juice because my battery doesn't last as long as your awesome Galaxy S10. You go ahead and place their iPhone right there, and you can see it will start charging the device just like a wireless charger would. Now, do keep in mind, of course, you're going to lose your own battery life sharing it. That's why it's called wireless share. But if you have a watch too, like a Galaxy Watch, for example, or a Watch Active, you can go ahead, place that there, and it will start charging as it is indicating right here by this icon. But I am fully charged on this watch, so it's not going to show any percentages, but you can see it will share that power from your device, which is pretty awesome. So when it comes to the software, you're going to have to get used to it when it comes to, you know, the new multitasking, the way it works, the new icons, stuff like that. But it is something that I think you'll get used to, and there's plenty of new features, and it gets easier to one-hand the Galaxy S10 if you are going to be doing things like that. This phone just gets better at doing that. As you can see, Samsung has brought a lot of the features down towards where your hand will naturally rest. Now, this is not going to be the easiest one. The S10e will be that, but I think overall you will adjust to this software. I should mention that with this phone, you will have one major difference from the Galaxy S10e, and that's going into display. And if you go to the screen resolution, you can knock this thing up to WQHD+, which gives you a sharper res than what you're going to find on that phone. So this is definitely the sharper panel of the two. So now let me show you the Galaxy S10 next to some similarly sized phones. So here is the Galaxy S9 Plus. You can see that definitely a taller phone there. It's chunkier, heavier, and you could definitely feel it. Some people might like the S9 Plus's more substantial feel in the hand though. The lighter feel of the S10 doesn't feel quite as substantial, but it still has a premium feel all around. And I like the light feel. It's better for usability because your hand will cramp less if you use your phone quite a bit. So the S10 gets smaller than the S9 Plus, but still offers almost an identical screen size. Are you coming from 2 years ago, Galaxy S8? You can see almost the same height as the Galaxy S8. It's a little bit wider though than that phone, so not quite as ergonomic as the S8, but still, if you had an S8, this should be easy to handle the Galaxy S10. No problem whatsoever. I think a lot of people will be upgrading from their S8. You can trade that in right now to get a nice discount. The LG G7 ThinQ. This is also a phone with a 6.1-inch display, just like the Galaxy S10. And you can see it's a pretty similar phone. LG has been making light phones for a while, so this one is about as light as the LG G7 ThinQ. These don't feel too much different in the weight, but the S10 just feels a little bit more premium, I would say, on the sides. Here is the Huawei P20 Pro. It's going to be updated soon to the P30 Pro. Let me know if you want to see that one on the channel. But the Huawei P20 Pro, a 6.1-inch display. It's also pretty manageable. It's not that big of a phone, but the S10 still significantly lighter than that device. Here is the OnePlus 6T, a phone that's significantly cheaper than this S10 right here, and you could see that it's definitely bigger, more in line with the Galaxy S9 Plus's size, weightier, heavier, nowhere near as ergonomic to me as the Galaxy S10 here. So S10 really gives you a nice screen size for almost a perfect weight as well. At 157 grams, I come again. And here's Apple's 6.1-inch display iPhone XR. Definitely a chunkier phone. thicker for sure, heavier, way heavier than the Galaxy S10, and offers about the same screen size. But because the S10 seemingly goes all the way up to the top, a little bit further than the XR, and way thinner bezels, it might feel like it has a bigger screen than the iPhone XR, even though it's the same size technically. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at the camera before we wrap up this video here. So I have the camera opened up, and you can see Samsung definitely did tweak the way the software looks. Let me go ahead and bring in the red XR. It's a really bright color to take a nice photo. So let's go ahead and shoot that there. And you can see how this thing actually looks. Let's go ahead and allow this really quickly here so we can see this photo. You can see very sharp details. I'm gonna have to do more testing to see how the camera actually turns out. But one thing that's nice about the Galaxy S10 is the wide angle. So you have the ultra wide angle, and look how much you can get in that shot. It's insane here for a smartphone. So imagine having a DSLR and being able to switch out multiple lenses, which many people love to do. Well, now you have 3 lenses here on your mobile phone. Are they as big as a sensor in a DSLR? Absolutely not, but it's gonna be very nice that you don't have to have lenses. You can just have 3 here on your Galaxy S10 on the rear. Now this also has telephoto, unlike the S10e. So you've seen I punched in very nicely there on the XR. So wide angle, standard wide angle, and then we have the telephoto, and you could even zoom in further if you need to get even more detail on your shot. The front facing camera is a single 10 megapixel dual pixel AF camera, and it's definitely going to be a pretty nice one. You can also go wide for those group selfies here on the S10. So really the versatility of this camera, Samsung has nailed it again. They have so much options here of how to shoot with the phone, overwhelmingly so if you haven't used this many cameras in a phone before. You'll have to get used to it. You have the ability to shoot in 4K 60 frames per second if you're into shooting video on your phone. So there's gonna be a lot of options of how you can get video and photo out of this device, and Samsung is claiming it's the most steady, stable video you're gonna find on a smartphone. So we'll have to test that. Be subscribed to see that. Make sure you have notifications turned on as well. So in conclusion, Galaxy S10, this is a beautiful device. I think you're really gonna like it if you had an S8, S7 Edge, maybe a Note 8 if you wanna go to the S series and skip out on the next Note. You find yourself not using the pen too much. Let's go ahead and showcase that ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. That's a new feature here as well. You had that on the OnePlus 6T, but not everybody bought the OnePlus 6T. They're only on T-Mobile. So this is really gonna mainstream that under display fingerprint sensor. And this is gonna be a conversation starter right here. 8 gigabytes of RAM standard, 7nm 855 CPU, 3400 milliamp hour battery. This thing is loaded, and it's just a gorgeous piece of hardware right here. Now software will be questionable how long Samsung does keep this thing updated, but I think the Galaxy S10 does offer quite a bit of bang for buck at $899. It's actually cheaper than the iPhone XS, gives you a bigger screen, same type of power in terms of processing performance, and more cameras. So Apple's got some work to do to catch up here to these Galaxy S10s this year. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the Galaxy S10? Are you feeling this one? Are you feeling the Prism White? Are you feeling the middle phone of the 3? Are you more into the S10 Plus or the S10e? Let us know down below in the comment section of this video. If you found it helpful, entertaining, informing, click the like button for me. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.